15 years old, and as a result of my use of the school iPads, I have expanded my worldview immensely. I really enjoy using the iPads because they offer me an escape where I can learn about new things and new perspectives from people, whereas like in 8th grade, in 7th grade, when I didn't have access to the iPads, like this stream of information was just not available to me. These resources were not available to me. And learning about things like internalized misogyny and misogynoir and like the intersection of oppressions, and like I'm not sure where I'd be right now without the iPads. Like if I hadn't had it to do all this research and, you know, learn about how to be a better person and make the world a better place, like, I don't know, I'd probably still be stuck in my little bubble.
So freshmen, when we first got the iPads, we were able to use many different new apps that were introduced to us, and this allowed us to create new things that could help us in the classroom. We created a lot of things with this app called Explain Everything, and it allows us to create different projects with pictures, drawings, text, and everything, and it allows us to speak also. And this allowed us to present things to the class that we normally wouldn't be able to present. And at the same time, everything would be on one website or one place, so we would be able to access it a lot easier. And this was very helpful with studying for exams and things like that. So we were able to use everything whenever we needed it, which is great. And this helps with presenting projects. And then here, I'll show you. This is right here. This is one of our history projects that we had in American Gov. And so this is the editing. So like here you see the videos, you can just drag them right in. There's a sound, you can cut the sound.
Wow.
You can cut the video. It is so handy, this, and you just press the down arrow and you drag it in. And then say you just want the beginning part. You click on it, you split it, and then you drag this up. Drag it up, and it goes away. And then you just have the
Say you have like a link on YouTube that you want to add to your video. How would you go about doing that?
Okay, what you do for that is you would have to find on a YouTube video there's an embedding link, and you would take that and you would save it, and then you would have to save it to like your Dropbox or something like that, something that's on the iPad, and then you could just bring it right
What
in.
do you primarily use this for?
This year I've used it a lot in Spanish and Gov.
Okay.
So those are 2 classes that I've used it this year. In past years I've used it in all my classes.
Wow, okay.
Physical education, students use their iPads for a variety of reasons. At the beginning of class, when kids are still coming out from changing, we will periodically put up QR scanner codes. Students will use their QR scanners on their iPads at the beginning of class, scan the code, which will take them to a link to a variety of things. It could be a link to rules and regulations, it could be a link to a YouTube video of professionals playing whatever activity we're supposed to be playing that day. We will also use the iPad in class for the video camera as well as iMovie app. Students in 10th grade make instructional fitness videos and periodically will video themselves and do self and peer assessment. When they're doing that self and peer assessment, we'll also introduce the Coach's Eye app, which allows students to actually pause videos of themselves, zoom in, go backwards and forwards, as well as write over the video. They can also do a voiceover and create almost like an ESPN sort of documentary of themselves playing whatever activity. Finally, we use Schoology. All phys ed teachers have a Schoology account, and all cognitive assessments, exit quizzes, things like that are all done through Schoology. This is great because we can save time and effort disseminating papers and pencils and things like that, and students get immediate feedback on whatever assessment they take.
Biology book, and basically we use this for studying and during class, and we use it for vocab too, and it's really helpful because they have all the chapters here, they have all the vocabulary. Click here, it has interactive things, so it has like pop-ups
And then it translates.
and then different things that correspond to the text.
I would prefer a digital textbook because it's more compact and less weight. and a lot of the features are very helpful. Like one of these, like if you want to go back to something, you can highlight it. Okay, not working. Now it's working. Say I just want to highlight this whole section, and then like you want to go back to it, it marks that for you, and you can go back to it.
On the little magnifying glass, you can search different like topics that you want. So let's say you want to know about cells, you can look up
social media, Twitter.
cells. You have suggestions, and you can also search Wikipedia and the web.
Researched a few others.
So right here they have the glossary for what cell is, and they have different page numbers, and they also have 2,505 new other results that you can look at. So
Being able to
you click on it, goes right to the page, so you know about it.
the hashtag. I took a contemporary issues class last semester. We used Twitter as a way to communicate various news articles with each other and share them in a very easy and efficient way. We decide as a class which news articles were the most interesting, and then we'll have a class discussion.
And it was based on these articles that they read that other classmates had tweeted.
Exactly, yeah.
How cool was that?
What we do is we'll go online, find the article, we'll copy and paste the link, add a short little description of what it is, and then we tweet it at our teacher.
Do you see firsthand some students that may not be apt to just talk in class, but are much more proactive on Twitter?
Yes, I definitely see a lot of that. There are a lot of people who don't really start or add as much to the discussions in class, but if you were to go to their Twitter feed, they have like 5 times as many tweets as everyone else. And
Desmos is a free and very easy to use app that you can download. Use it in many math classes around the school. And you just simply put in a function up into one of the boxes up here. And it also comes with features where you can change the amount of each of the variables on here with sliders. So you can see how each of the variables affects the graph. So it's a very great visual representation for how each of our graphs work. So you can put in very simple functions into here, or you can put in very complex functions, and you can put in functions or any other thing you want. And you can also get some pre-programmed ones over here. So for example, if we're doing trigonometry, we can open this graph over here, and we can see all the variables that come up here and how all of them affect the graph. So it's a very good way to show how functions that we're learning concepts in class and how they are shown visually, since a lot of people are visual learners.
Another title, same, but what's the dependent variable this time? What's the dependent variable? Amount of time it takes to dissolve. Part, okay? What's being identified? So the effect of the amount of sugar on the bedtime for 7-year-old boys. What is the bold part identifying? It is the independent variable. Uh-oh. Dan and Nick, guys are on fire. True or false? A cooling curve, the graph, is the same as a heating curve, just opposite. Well done. Well done. A material with a low specific heat will make a good thermal conductor.
Okay, so this application is called Chemistry 4D, and basically there's a bunch of these different blocks that have different elements on them, and when you hold them underneath the camera, it shows you what the element looks like. And then the cool thing about this is that you can combine the elements together. So you can also see when I combine these two elements, you can see the chemical that it actually makes up, and it shows you a visible picture.
Do you want? Let's do it.
This is an application that students can use to study different types of cells. So right now, if we select an animal cell, it takes us to a 3D diagram of an animal cell. So now we have the opportunity to zoom in and click on different organelles. So if I click on this, it tells us that this is the mitochondria, and it gives us a different description about this. But there's also different types of descriptions that we can use. So we can use a more advanced description. Someone who's in college would more likely be to use this type of description. But the cool thing about this app is that it shows you the relative location of all the different organelles in a cell, and it gives you the function of all of them. So when you're studying, it's a fun way to learn the different organelles instead of having to stare at a paper and memorize them that way.
Schoology is a learning management system. It's an organizational platform that, to a student, mimics the experience of an online course. Additionally, besides providing organization of all the benefits showcased from this video, it has its own functionality to generate its tools from within. For example, within Schoology, students can access assessments, they can participate in peer discussions, they can also use multimedia resources of any file type, and also do the simple submissions of assignments. The One-to-One Technology Initiative has redefined learning for Brookfield High School students. Learning is no longer a one-size-fits-all experience in the classroom, but instead opportunities to personalize selection of resources and creation of learning tools is given to students. Ultimately, this student voice and choice afforded by the One-to-One Technology Initiative motivates and engages students to want to know and do more.